All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to the BIRACIal Brothers Podcast. I'm your co-host, Chris Davis. I just want to take a moment to recognize any new or first-time viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for checking us out. It means the world. And also for our loyal returning viewers and listeners, you guys are awesome. It really means a lot for you sticking with us. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Be sure to go ahead and hit subscribe and the bell along with the notifications for notifications so you can kind of keep up with us for our new content. Also, be sure to hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at the BIRACIal Brothers Podcast. We appreciate you having this there as well. And there's some listener support links down in the description on YouTube. But with the paperwork out of the way, it's a little bit different. I don't know if you guys have noticed for returning.
For economic reasons. If we make money on this, that nigga got to go.
We're down one brother. We're down one brother. He had to run. He has a family he has to take care of, so he couldn't stick around.
He's being a good husband right now.
He's being a good husband and a good dad.
Yeah.
Chump. So this is my A1 day one. We're going throwback here, just me and Lee.
Hell yeah.
Davis. What's going on, Lee?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Man, it's going really good, man. I'm having a really good day. I'm just happy to be here with you, you know.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be weird to not do one without Boo, though.
It's
his foolishness.
Ignorance.
Yeah, but this is going to be kind of a heavier topic, as you can tell from the title of this. The title of this, what we're going to dig into is, can black people be racist? Yeah. Can black people be racist? So this is going to be a real nuanced, I feel like, discussion. And it may be, from my perspective, it may be a little bit different than what you would think. So, but we'll get into it. So, Lee, without further ado, what do you think about black people being racist?
I mean, to me, to be racist, I mean, it's
loaded.
They've been, black people have been had that against them that I think they've learned how they can be, you know what I'm saying? Fuck this one, fuck that one, different races or whatever, where I think they've seen how to perfect it. So I think they can, but it's just them being more representative of black people than it is more against something.
It's kind of
else.
like circling the wagons.
Yeah, they're just pro-black more than they are anti-whatever.
Right, anti-white.
Yeah.
I
not just
that.
white, not just white either. Fucking Hispanic or what I'm saying, Asian or whatever.
Well, in the dominant culture, so like white, I guess I would say. So this is what I would say. This is where I think it gets kind of into nuance for me, is that racism is, and I looked this up, is defined as a power structure that allows one group to put a system in place where they use their race to direct discrimination against people of different race based on belief that their race is superior. So in my mind, racism has to do with socioeconomics. It's a power structure.
Yeah, so by that definition, it'd be hard for black people to be racist because they don't have the structure to keep another group down.
Yeah. So like if it was in Africa, then yes, from that definition, black people can be racist. My thing is, so I'm going to go with that and say, no, black people cannot be racist because there's not a power structure, whereas black people can, in America, black people cannot hold people down in general.
Yeah. But
black people can definitely be prejudiced.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And from my point of view is that, yeah, I can, if a black people can say, I hate X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's being prejudiced. I don't want to deal with this type of person because I'm better than them.
Yeah. But I mean, I think they've been felt they're lower than for so long that's just a natural reaction at this point. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Black people have always had to prove their worth.
They've always had to go above and beyond to reach and I'm going to say the dominant culture,
Yeah.
which is white people. It's just another fancy way of saying white people. They've always had to like go above and beyond. You've had to be twice as good for half the result.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, because I've talked to KK, our sister, about it, who's a white girl, white lady, white woman, whatever. She's a Caucasian. And I will say, and this is where it kind of gets a little different here, is we're talking about black people in white spaces. Well, what about the reverse from white people in black spaces? So her kids they go to a predominantly black and Hispanic school, and their kids, I'm not gonna say their names, have been treated badly because they're white. That's where I would say that you're now entering racist territory.
Well, I mean, whenever you're the minority, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. So I can see that. It's horrible that that's the case, especially with kids, because it's more the parents putting their ideas on these children as opposed to, and just kids being kids in general.
Bullies.
Well, that person looks different to me. Attack. But I mean, because if you've had a school, and there's schools out here in Sumner County to where, or at least were, to where, it was 99% white and you had maybe 5 black kids in the school and all of them know each other.
Yeah, they all got to be friends.
Hell yeah. Where the majority is going to always fuck with the minority. And so the minority is always going to feel like they've got to prove something. We've got to show that we're better than. So, I mean,
you have to be excellent. You got to be black excellence. You don't want to let
you don't want to be what they expect you to be anyway. Well, these motherfuckers ain't nothing anyway, and then you go around being nothing, and then you're proving their point. You're making their stance more. You're substantiating their shit.
Yeah. Whereas they're not defined by their worst.
Yeah, and that's where, me myself, personally speaking, I've had a lot of people, because I'm dark skinned, but they don't see that I'm mixed. That has nothing to do with it. They just see I have dark skin, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big nose or whatever you want to call it. And they pigeonhole me in a certain space to where I've never let that define me. I'm always going to go out, and plus I'm a Capricorn, so I'm going to go out of my way to prove whatever you think of me is totally wrong. Or I'm better than your perception of me.
Yeah, if you look at, and if you put yourself up to a actual full black man, you're obviously not a full, I'm obviously not a full black person.
No.
If you know what you're looking at, if an ignorant person may not know the difference, but if you actually look at me and a black guy, I'm obviously not,
there's something different.
There's white in me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm completely cool with being half and half, you know what I'm saying? I understand.
Like we said in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? We get to see the good inside of this side. The good and bad in this side, and the good and bad in the other side, and try to take the good in both and emulate it all into one being.
Yeah, I feel like being mixed is a gift and a curse in a lot of ways. Yeah. Because you don't really get to fit in, unless, of course, you are lucky and you're around a group of people or a group or a school or something where there's just a lot of mixed people. You know what I'm saying? I know Troy and Anthony growing up, they were mixed, and me and you made friends with them, and that was kind of cool. But typically in our lives,
you're not gonna know.
There's not a lot of mixed people out there, biracial people.
No.
So we're always.
Well, I think the numbers are now in the next generation that comes up, there'll be a whole lot more. But when we were growing up,
it's very rare. So going, with being around black people, we're too white to be black, and going around white people, we're too black to be white.
At least black people will entertain you as far as you pass the eyeball test enough to where they let you in.
Yeah, just be cool.
To where, you know what I'm saying, if you're standing in a group of white people, and you're
they're going to say something, or they're going to... I've dealt with a lot of racism more and more, the last 4 years, I'd say. I've had to deal with it more, especially this past summer. I've had people, I was kayaking down the Harpeth, and I had it was me and my Hispanic buddy and we were kayaking, and there was this white family there, and one of the guys, the dad's or uncle, was like, "Hey, go get the guns. We got a couple of targets." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, he was obviously talking about me and my Hispanic friend. Like,
to me, that is just so ignorant that, like, I don't even pay attention to that. I understand how that could ruffle your feathers, but at the same time, this person is so ignorant to even say something like that. I mean, even if you thought it, to let it come across your lips,
let it come out.
Yeah, hear it be said. It's like, man,
and it fucking made me so mad. But also, there's a couple of things that I could not do.
Yeah,
I was badly outnumbered. I'm not going to get in a fight in the middle of the river. I didn't have a gun. They may have had a gun.
Or if you act it out, then you, like I said, man, you justify how they feel.
Yeah, like, you know, look at that N-word over there being crazy N-word. Like, whereas I just kept paddling, fumed a little bit underneath, like, and it's a lot easier to say, well, if that was me, I would have, but like, I think about it, like, what am I going to do in the middle of the river? Like, it wasn't overt. It wasn't like they got in my face and said it. I heard them say it. So I'm like,
throw your boat over.
Yeah. Now, if he would have came at me and like hurt, also I was alone. As far as like me, I don't have to protect anybody, right?
Yeah.
Now, if Brittany was with me and they said that, I would have felt a different kind of way, because now I have to defend my woman because she's a black woman. I would feel more apt to say something.
Or if somebody said something like that about my kids,
or your child, or something like, where it's just me, I'm like, you're a fuckhead, like, fuck you,
man.
But if he would have said that directed at me and my woman, now my man instincts kicked in to where,
well, yeah, she's looking at you too, like, you know, are you going to defend us?
Yeah, like, that's fucking fucked up.
No.
So that's kind of like the dynamics of what you got to look out for. So as in America, I would say black people don't have the power to have the police department called and like,
to have them systematically fuck with white people or whatever.
Yeah, there's not the power in that. And honestly, the groups of black people that I've ever been around, whenever a white person comes in, they're overly nice to them. Like, I go to Mount Zion, before the Rona, and every time you see a white person come in, like, I noticed it personally because my mind, I'm trained. I was born in 1983. I've lived through America. My eye notices it. Yeah. But there's never any, like, they're not treated any type of way.
No, to me, myself, I've seen as a whole, I would say black people will allow that white person into the group.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Way quicker.
Yeah, to where you got a group of white dudes, there might be some resistance there, depending on the class of,
or you'll have
white fellas you got
ignorant comments come out of your mouth, or especially like for women, I know touching hair. Like, oh, let me touch your hair. Like, your afro looks fun, or like shit like that.
Ooh, it looks spongy.
Yeah. Whereas on the inside, you're like, fucking don't touch my hair. Like, what are you? It's basically like I'm an other to be like looked at in a different. Like, I'm in a zoo.
Well, it's like a pregnant woman. Somebody just always wanted to come and touch your belly. You know, or rub your belly. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
like,
you're exotic.
Who are you touching
don't fucking touch my stomach. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, if I wasn't pregnant, you'd walk up and just rub my belly. Like, oh, look, belly button.
Yeah, like, you fucking weirdo. What are you doing?
Get the fuck off me. That's assault.
That's assault. Yeah, so I feel like, can black people be racist in America? I would say no. Can they be prejudiced?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I've also, been around black people who go in on white
hard,
people,
man, just because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They feel like, that's payback.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why there was such a, what am I trying to say here? There was a backlash or a white lash against the civil rights movement. There was all these progress made, for like black people or whatever, and then there was a backlash. Like, you get white flight out of the urban centers into the suburbs. There's a white flight.
Yeah, we'll just move away from.
Yeah, we're just moving away from, like, and then when you get a black person to move in,
you the outsider.
Yeah, you get rocks thrown at your shit.
Yeah, go home.
Yeah,
Get the
in
fuck
words
out of
sprayed
here.
on
Yeah.
you. Like, and I feel like the election of Barack Obama made it so, like, just unveil. Like, it was a wound, but it was getting better. But then when Barack Obama got elected, you just ripped that Band-Aid off of race relations in America.
And see, to me, man, I hate that we've got to, what kind of man is Barack Obama? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to vote for a dude because of what he stands for, not because he's a black guy that's got a good chance to win. And to me, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man. And what kind of policies is the man trying to implement? What's his ideology? Whereas, just because you got, hell, if Flavor Flav ran for president, I'm not going to vote for him.
I'm not voting for Flavor Flav.
Oh, man.
I didn't vote for Kanye this year. Just for everybody who says, oh, you only voted for him because he was black, I didn't vote for Kanye. Kanye's black.
He's not. His policies ain't going to work.
I don't even know what the hell I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast that he was on a couple weeks ago for about 15 minutes, and that's all I could stomach of listening to Kanye.
I never gave it a thought. I mean,
I was like, okay, let's see what he's talking about. But he's so fucking out there that it's like, I don't want to listen to this guy anymore.
But also, too, what about this? Can, let's say, just for instance, can a white mother be racist if she's got mixed kids? Now, I've heard mothers say shit that be like, your child shouldn't hear you speak like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a white mother and a bunch of white folks, but there's a mixed kid running around, and these white people are talking how they sometimes do, and that mixed kid is hearing that, you're instilling racist thoughts into the child to where they're not even they don't value black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where they don't value themselves, or they see themselves less than. I mean, I've seen a kid where that mixed child never considered itself black because of how the mother and their people talked about black people.
Yeah, we don't want to be associated with black, because every time I hear Paul say something about a black person, it's how lazy they are, they'll steal or whatever, the many stereotypes there are about black people.
Exactly, man.
I think it's funny that black people are only lazy after they didn't work for free anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're out there sitting on a horse while these people are fucking picking cotton for 12 hours a fucking day, 16 hours a day.
No,
but you're lazy.
Yeah, come on now. Don't give me that shit.
Yeah, that's some shim sham.
I don't know. I feel like it's different heart. I don't know how. So if you're married to a black woman or a white woman as a black man, and y'all get into an argument and she calls you a nigger, like, that's something that you.
But see, that right there goes to the basis of, I'm just trying to say something to hurt you. I'm just trying to cut to you because you hurt me, and I'm trying to,
So is that
right
racism, or is that just her being a bitch in that moment?
Depends on what actions go behind that. If she's never done really anything racist, or she's done shit that you be like, and then she gets pissed off at you and calls you a nigger, and then it's like, oh yeah,
like, this isn't gonna work. Like,
hell no, it ain't gonna work.
Well, it's like I remember that time we were all partying off in the country at Kelly's house, and Killer or somebody walked in, where it was a bonfire, walked in and said that she had nigger carpet in the house, and Kelly fucking snapped on his ass like, the fuck. Like, she kicked him out.
I don't even know what nigger carpet looks like.
Yeah, I don't even know either, like, to be honest with you, but it was something like, it wasn't good. It wasn't like, oh, that's great carpet. You know what I'm saying? It was negative connotation. And Kelly, being a white woman, was like, fucking no. Like, that's not okay. It's like, there's a line in the sand. Yeah. Like, I've dated white women, and we've gotten arguments, and I've never wanted to make race an issue. No. Because that's fucked up.
I mean, you sit there and call her a cracker or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't just be like, oh, I love you, when I'm happy.
And then cut you. But see, that's in general. you can't, if I truly do love you, when I get upset at you, I can't try to chop you down at the fucking knees.
Yeah, at the
to
bone.
to get my fucking point of, okay, you hurt me. So, I mean, because a lot of people do argue and they'll be like, well, the only reason I said it is because you hurt me, so I was just trying to hurt you back. Well, if you truly love somebody, that shouldn't be the case, man.
Yeah, you don't want to say something you cannot take that back.
You cannot put that toothpaste back in that tube once you squeeze that shit out.
Absolutely not. And nor should you forgive somebody who does that. If, in my opinion,
because you're just setting the road for them to just keep on. Every time this motherfucker gets mad at me, man, he's gonna say,
me a nigger.
Yeah, he's gonna call me all kind of shit, and that's not gonna
fly for me.
That's disrespectful.
It's super disrespectful. Like, what are you doing? So it's really kind of like you should treat people how you want to be treated, right?
Yeah. That's
kind of the golden rule, is gold for a reason. Like, you can't. And so, like, the basis of the question is, this whole video is like, can black people be racist? But really is like, we need to work on, let's just move past all this anyway, because it pulls us down so much.
But everything is about division anyway. You know what I'm saying? You got the North, you got the South, you got the white, black, you got football teams, Republican, Democrat. Everything is because there's an entity in this world that knows how powerful people could be if they were one.
Absolutely.
So there's got to be division at all times to keep them from being that. You know what I'm saying? To keep them fucking separated from actually achieving that true power that they all can. You know what I'm saying? Being one entity,
If America pulled their shit together for long enough to move past race, imagine what type of leaps forward we would make as a country.
To move past, you know what I'm saying, like being gay or straight, being, you know what I'm saying, I'm Presbyterian, you're Baptist, or, atheist and Christian, or Islamic and Christian, or Jewish, or whatever. I mean, all these things that divide us.
Just denominate.
If you just got away, what kind of person is this motherfucker? If that's a good person, whatever that motherfucker is, if it's a good person. Rock with that.
Yeah. I mean, if you just look at a person and honestly, actually live up to Dr. King's dream of my character, what is this?
Because
I've seen white people who I would lock my door on come across the street, saying like, fuck this. Like, that's gonna click that
motherfucker.
Yeah. And I've seen white people, I'm like, well, and don't look at that person twice.
Yeah, that person, wouldn't hurt a fly. But you've also seen black people that you'd be like, man, no.
Yeah, I've seen a group of black people, I'm like, nah, fuck that, lock that door. But that's not my go-to reaction when I see a group of black people.
When I see skin color, it's like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Like, my daughter, if I had a daughter or son, they brought home a person which, by the way, I'm mixed, so like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what does that even matter?
Yeah.
Like, if they were to bring home an Asian person or something, like, okay, cool. I guess we're gonna
what kind of person is this?
Yeah, exactly. What are we actually dealing with?
Yeah, I don't care if they're Asian, Mexican, fucking, whatever.
Can you help my child be a better version of themselves?
Then I'm all for you.
Yeah, but if you're dragging them down,
I don't give a fuck what race you are.
And it's like, if I don't have a kid, but if I had a daughter, she's obviously going to be the pearl in the light of my life.
Hell yeah.
And now I see her come in with some motherfucker.
Some dirtbag piece of shit motherfucker. I don't care what
any race
you are.
Any race, any religion.
I'm going to do my best to steer my child away
from
like,
nah, my spidey senses is going off.
Daddy don't think
and
that's the one for you.
I don't want you to be beat on before you figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because then you're going to make me have to put me in a space to where...
now I got to murder somebody.
I got to hurt this motherfucker.
And that has nothing to do with race.
Not a damn thing. You hit my daughter, I don't care what color you are.
It has nothing to do with race. If I have, I think it's so important to get past race and otherism in the world in general. Mm-hmm. Because what are we all as humans trying to do? We're trying to live. We're trying to grow. We're trying to leave something to our children. We want our family safe.
Yeah, you want to prosper.
We want to prosper, right? If I'm actively, I don't think America's ever gonna get its shit together until they do right by black people.
Well, I think you got to be doing right by all people.
Everybody.
If it speaks a lot about a person to where as soon as I see somebody, all I'm doing is thinking negative shit.
Yeah,
I don't
risk
waste
mitigation.
I don't waste my time thinking about negative shit. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, when I first meet you, the scales are even.
Mm-hmm.
Every action you give me is going to be boop on here, boop over there. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, once I get enough to start weighing shit out, I'd be like, yeah, that's a great dude, man. Or no, that's a motherfucking piece of shit.
Yeah, I think me and you have been uniquely positioned as mixed people to have that luxury because we were never put in a position to where racist things were imparted into us. Like we had a white mama and a black dad and a black stepdad, so there's never a black people are bad, white people are bad, Asians are bad, Mexicans are bad. I think me and you have been uniquely positioned in life to be able to see past that.
Yeah.
Now, if I was black and my granddad had a fucking hard time, he taught his son how to be racist. Now, dad's fucking had to go through the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
He's been eating shit from white people his whole life. Now, he's teaching me to be distrustful of white people.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at now I'm teaching my son, you got to be careful. Don't.
Oh, and I mean, our father, he's probably one of the racist people I know.
Yeah, I would say, but this goes back to it. He's prejudiced. Like he does not, which I found it odd. And this kind of, I know we're splitting a hair on that, but
well, I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. He's prejudiced.
He doesn't. And I asked him, I was like, why do you not like? He doesn't have any power to hold the white man down.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But
he's bitter.
He's bitter. He has many a bitter pill in his bone, to where it's like, damn. And I asked him about that. I was like, dude, why did you if you don't like white people so much, why did you marry a white woman? Why did you have kids with a white woman? Yeah, because I was lonely. You're an accident.
No black woman would have anything to do
no
with
black woman. Yeah, or some bullshit like that. Which is and honestly, even with him thinking like that, I never really saw that growing up. It wasn't until I was older and he opened up more during conversations. I was like, maybe there's something to this. You see white people a certain way.
Well, I've always heard him say shit like that, man. It's just his opinion, good or bad, never meant anything to me. So anything that comes out of his face never had any weight.
Yeah, I guess that would be...
He couldn't skew my thoughts on shit one way or the other.
Yeah, if he was in our lives on a day-to-day basis, it may have more of an impact versus I see you every few weeks and whatever you say,
you don't mean it doesn't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. But if you have a father that's engaged and he's feeding his child this shit, or if he's and for white people, if your dad is in your life and every time he has something to say, like Archie Bunker, or he's like, they're moving in the neighborhood, there goes the property values or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be you're gonna ingrain shit
that
into
people keep saying oh, we're moving forward as a country. No, we're really not.
If anything, people have learned how to be faker. Because I've been around some white people that they don't even know that they are saying racist shit. They're just saying shit, and it's like, man, you got to watch who you say that shit around. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that just because I don't take it that certain way. The way you put that out there, that sounds pretty.
Well, it's like
racist.
the reason why Dave Chappelle quit the Chappelle show. Because he was making all these racist jokes, but then season 3 came, and all of a sudden they're not laughing with him anymore. It's like they're laughing at him. Yeah, that's why he decided to leave. Yeah, that's why he decided to leave $50 million on the table. Because I don't want
integrity. What's your integrity worth?
Yeah, it's I don't know. You can just take kind of anything. I don't want to put myself in a position where I make fucked up jokes all the time.
Yes,
very
much so.
But
they're in jest as opposed to, man, that's how that nigga really feels,
Yeah, that's when you get into you're a piece of shit territory.
Yeah.
Where Brittany was talking about something it was a transgendered person, and she just called them she, and she was emailed by the person was actually my pronouns are them and they. She was like, I'm so sorry, is there anything else I can do to not be as ignorant so I'm not being an ignorant person? That's not being racist. That's not being sexist. That's not being transphobic. No,
because
ignorant.
If you grow up with man and woman, you don't know how to comprehend. You've never talked about a person being they.
I was actually confused because I had her. I was like, what does that actually mean? Why do they say them and they? And it was because they don't identify as being a man or a woman.
They identify as both.
So that's why. And honestly, I was like,
that makes sense. I mean,
makes
you get
sense.
it. You don't think about shit like that because that's not where your
It's not
thoughts
something, yeah.
But when they break it down like that, you're like, huh, okay.
Whereas if you're a grown up Southern white in the 1960s, you don't think twice of calling the black person nigger.
No,
because that's what you've done. You've always done. But if you knew
That's
how
what
much
you've
it
always
hurt a
heard.
black person,
Yeah.
if you knew how much it hurt a black person to be called a nigger, you would never say that.
But see, that's why when a white person has been hurt by a black person, that's why they always go to it because I know I can cut you.
Yeah, at least I can get back, and they're gonna make them feel. Whereas with the transgender person, most I'm gonna use normal here in air quotes. Most male or females, they go around, they're raised their whole life as he's and she's, him and hers. Like that's what the thing. And even like if you go back to they're like, I watched this documentary on transgender people a while ago, and it was like the hurt they saw with like Ace Ventura, when the whole premise of Ace Ventura is making fun of this person being a transgendered person. I was like, wow. Like I love Ace Ventura growing up.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Like he's eating bubble gum, taking cold showers to get the taste out because he kissed this transgender. Like, how hurtful is that if you're a transgendered person? Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
No, that's very true.
Now, if so yeah, it's this. I guess it's kind of like opening your eyes to seeing people as who they are on the inside.
Yeah.
So, can black people be racist? In America, I'd say no, but can they be prejudiced? Yes. Can they be racist in Africa? Yes, because there's a power structure there to make them lesser than. Can you be transphobic? I would say yes, because there's a power structure in.
You can keep them down.
Not
hire them. Not
treat them as a other.
Yeah.
But we're at the time now. I would say the best way to get past this is put your ego aside.
Put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Put yourself in the other person's position. Just be a fucking human.
Yeah, man.
And just treat them how you would want to be treated.
I think it's harder for people to be human. Honestly, we're losing humanity as we move forward. I mean,
because everybody's on keyboard warriors and they're saying the most terrible shit because they know they don't have to deal with the consequences of this person in their face.
Well, not only that, they don't want to deal with their own demons that they have inside of them. So it's either for me to talk about your shit instead of fucking, you know what I'm saying? You got the one finger pointing at you and you got the other ones pointing back. You got the one finger pointing at them and the other one's pointing back at you. It's easier for, me to pick at you than me deal with me.
Yeah, you just shut down your self-awareness because it's easier to be like, you know what? I was a real shitty person today.
Yeah, man, I didn't mean to, but I hurt that person's feelings. I should go back and apologize. They'd be like, man, fuck that. I ain't going to apologize, man.
Yeah, nigger deserved it.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't want to be around
person,
you.
Man.
Yeah, that's being a shitty person. But look, that's our time. I think it was a really good conversation. I hope that you guys learned a little bit.
And we'll revisit it with Boo at some point.
Yeah. That fool has all kind of opinions.
Yeah, I'm sure
stuff.
he's got thoughts on
it. But guys, thank you so much. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have, there's something in this that you have an opinion about.
If you want to call us a nigga, you can leave that out of it.
Yeah, don't do that. You will be blocked, and I'm okay being losing a subscriber if that's how you feel. But anyways, guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and as always, Lee, do what?
Be mixed.
Bye.